Good morning. Buenos dias. Please all rise for the national anthem, led by our own Osceola Davis Smith, who will be accompanied by the Lehman Brass Ensemble under the direction of Armando Rodriguez of the college's music department.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Osceola. Please be seated. President Fernandez, distinguished guests, students, members of the faculty, staff, and administration, welcome to our 2015 Convocation, the traditional opening of the academic year. I am Ánimo Robel Sosa, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. And let me introduce to you the administrators and our academic deans. As I call their names, I ask each to stand and remain standing, and please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Ronald Bergman, Vice President for Information Technology and Chief Information Officer. Vincent Clark, Vice President for Administration and Finance. Mario Della Pina, Vice President for Institutional Advancement. Dr. Marzi Jafari, Vice President for Workforce and Global Partnerships. Jose Magdaleno, Vice President for Student Affairs. René Sarmiento, Vice President for Enrollment Management. Dr. Deirdre Pettipies, Dean of Arts and Humanities. Dr. Harriet Fain, Dean of Education. Dr. Gautam Sen, Dean of Natural and Social Sciences. Dr. Joseph Racklin, Interim Dean of Research. Dr. William Latimer, Dean of Health Sciences, Human Services, and Nursing. Dr. Stefan Becker, Vice Provost for Academic Programs. Dr. Davina Porak, Vice Provost for Academic Personnel. And finally, Lehman College's President, Ricardo Fernandez. Let me also recognize our Grand Marshal, Professor Ann Rothstein of the Department of Early Childhood and Childhood Education. Deputy Grand Marshal, Professor Fred Phelps from the Department of Psychology. And today's faculty marshals, Professor Graciela Castex from the Department of Social Work, and Professor Bertrand Banoum from the Department of African and African American Studies. And representing our fantastic students, Mr. Ramon Suero, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Lehman College Student Government Association. Welcome to all of you on this very special day, as it is the official beginning of what promises to be a very transformative year for Lehman College. As you all know, we have recently completed the initial phases of a prioritization process of all of our academic and administrative programs, begun in 2014 so as to assess our programmatic strengths and opportunities for growth, improvement, and differentiation. The result of this effort will provide us with a roadmap for the transformation of the college into a vibrant public urban university for the 21st century, an institution that must evolve while remaining grounded in Herbert H. Lehman's vision for a just and humane world. It is important to acknowledge that this was and remains an arduous task undertaken by many of you, the first such process ever conducted by any CUNY campus. And on behalf of the steering committee and Vice President Vincent Clark, who co-chairs the process with me, I would like to thank each and every one of you for all of your participation and many contributions to this process. I know that it was demanding and there is much more work to be done, but through your efforts, we have achieved much so far. We also have much work to do as we prepare for the flood of changes affecting higher education today. From increasing calls for accountability from both our federal, state, and local governments, to a public that is concerned about increased cost and continues to call for a greater personal return on investment, to the ubiquity of technology in both our professional and personal lives, and the need to decrease the gap in educational achievement by those who most need it to succeed in our global society. It is because of these issues that we seek to transform our college into an institution that is ready to meet the ever-growing needs of our students and our region in the coming decades. During my 3 years here at Lehman, I have continually been impressed by the extraordinary dedication and authenticity of our faculty and staff. The beginning of the academic year provides for an excellent opportunity to recognize some of these people who have already played a major role in helping us along that journey. This is an occasion at which we acknowledge their work and dedication and make public our appreciation for all they do for Lehman College. This year, 3 staff members have earned the annual President's Award for outstanding contributions to the college. At this time, I ask Justo Ordóñez to please step forward. Justo is well known for the consistency and dedication to his craft. He is a painter with the Buildings and Grounds crew. And he has a positive attitude that he brings to every job, every day, and all those who come in contact with him while performing his duties. In today's hurried environment, Justo performs his duties with rare precision to detail. His work is neat, meticulous, and exacting. Some might say fastidious. He has been known to paint a computer cabinet so that it precisely matches the existing furniture. He is one of the reasons why our campus was voted one of the most attractive in the entire nation. Thank you, Justo, for your valuable service and contribution to Lehman College. At this time, I ask Suzette Ramsendar to please step forward. Suzette is the Associate Director of Campus Life and Coordinator of the Herbert H. Lehman Center for Student Leadership Development, which includes over 300 participants per semester. She joined the Lehman College staff nearly 10 years ago, serving as a college assistant before becoming a part-time administrator in the Urban Male Leadership Program, where she established the peer mentoring program. She continues to teach an evening course in counseling education and was recently accepted into the graduate program at Teachers College of Columbia University, where she is beginning her doctoral program. Suzette played an important role in the recent historic visit to the college by President Obama, including a weekend of behind-the-scenes email exchanges and phone calls between her and Elias Alcantara, the Associate Director for the White House Office of Intergovernment Relations. Thank you, Suzette, for your commitment to Lehman College. At this time, I ask Deirdre Constant to please step forward. Deirdre is the undergraduate academic advisor in the Department of Economics and Business, where she has worked since the summer of 2010. Deirdre has improved both the level and quality of advising service in her department while creating an efficient and welcoming atmosphere for all students. She is patient, compassionate, and understands the challenges our students face. She's a tireless advocate for students and has time and time again gone beyond the call of duty to help them in their educational and career plans. Thank you, Deirdre, for your valuable service and contribution to Lehman College. At the beginning of each year, we welcome our new and returning students and faculty. In particular, our faculty has a historical dedication to the success of our students. They teach, advise, and mentor them. They challenge them to think critically and creatively, and they work to make sure they succeed and achieve their dreams. The annual Teacher of the Year award honors that spirit of excellence and achievement and calls attention to faculty members who have demonstrated a particularly outstanding degree of commitment to the teaching profession, one that we acknowledge at the start of every academic year. For 2015, the selection committee, made up of students and previous recipients of the award, chose Professor Jessica Yude of the Department of English as the Lehman College Teacher of the Year. May I now ask Professor Yude to please step forward. Professor Yude has been a prize-winning teacher for nearly 20 years. She doesn't look it, no? The Lehman College 2015 Teacher of the Year Award is only the latest of 4 other awards she has received for her teaching. An associate professor at Lehman and at the Graduate Center, Professor Yude has devoted her scholarly life to the practice, theory, and history of teaching in general, and English studies and composition in particular. She has run Lehman's Writing Across the Curriculum program for 10 years, and she is hard at work on a new book about what her year as a student in a first-year composition classroom taught her about writing, teaching, and current culture wars. Students consistently rate Professor Yude one of the best professors, the most interesting, challenging, and empowering they've ever had. Professor Yude is supremely comfortable with what she calls complexity, and others might call chaos. It is for her pedagogical, scholarly, social, and even moral principle. We all have something to learn from her brilliant example. Professor Yude, it is my pleasure to congratulate you as Lehman College's 2015 Teacher of the Year.
Okay. So I'm going to speak very briefly. Thank you so very much. I am truly honored by this award, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to share with you, so very briefly, I promise, my personal philosophy about the meaning of teaching. So here it is. Teaching is incredibly embarrassing. No, it's embarrassing. I don't mean the day-to-day humiliations that come with professor interactions, and there are plenty of those. No, I mean teaching is embarrassing in the existential sense, in the sense of having to confront who we are and everything we hold sacred. I study great books and basic writing skills. At least that's what I believe about 5 minutes before walking into my classroom. But once I'm in that classroom, what's great about my literature or essential about standards come into contact with you, my suspicious, brave, and brilliant Lehman students. And then nothing about their beauty and truth seems so obvious anymore. That's when the work begins. We read, write, and we reflect together, sometimes clumsily, always rigorously, until this subject matter is embarrassed into a different existence, one that is more inclusive, real, and more beautiful and true than what came before. Technological advances have made us all existentialists now. As we recreate the academy for a digital age, I hope to also question any innovation that claims it's possible to teach and learn at a distance without the confusing, chaotic, time-consuming, and, well, embarrassing connections of classroom life. Because these connections make our disciplines, they make us human. Thank you so much for this honor. I'm humbled. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to you all, and thank you for your hard work. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you President Ricardo Fernandez in his 25th year to present the State of the College Address.
Thank you, Provost Morabel Sosa, and welcome all of you to the 2015 Convocation. Thank you for joining us. I'm very pleased to be here for this annual event that marks the start of our new academic year. The past year proved to be one of the most challenging in our history, but it was also one of the more exciting ones as well. Although the condition of the college in 2014-15 was fiscally stable, the truth is we received no new funding and had to absorb a number of mandatory costs and inflationary increases. This fiscal year, each of the CUNY senior colleges was asked to reduce its tax levy budget by 3%. For Lehman, this reduction amounted to in excess of $2.5 million. However, we were able to use our reserve funds to absorb $1.9 million of that number, and we only had to ask our divisions to fund the remaining $600,000. We intend to continue to monitor very closely our expenditures and revenues, and we do look forward to ending the year in a fiscally sound position. On a happier note, towards the end of the spring, Lehman was honored by President Obama's surprise historic visit to our campus. It was a very special day for Lehman College, for CUNY, and for the Bronx. And it was a special experience as well, and a distinct honor for me, a little later, to preside over my 25th commencement, and to have one of our illustrious alumni, the borough president of the Bronx, Ruben Diaz Jr., in the presence of Chancellor Milliken, address more than 3,000 of our graduates. And now, here we are at the start of another academic year, and I'm very happy to say that the state of our college, despite all of these challenges, is strong. Enrollment for the fall 2015 semester is stable. In fact, we may even go up a few numbers. But I just want to share 2 data points. Our retention numbers have grown over the last 5 years. In the fall 2008, we had a 77.1% one-year retention rate for first-time full-time freshmen. In fall 2013, that figure was 82.6, a 5.5% increase. Meanwhile, our four-year graduation numbers have grown from 14.1% in fall '08 to 18.7% in fall '10. These are the latest figures we have. As figures are reported in future years in these two categories, I expect that we will see upticks to reflect the impact of our admission criteria over the last several years. Unfortunately, it takes more than 6 years to see the results. Having begun to increase our standards in 2009, slowly ratcheting them up, we will not see the impact, the full impact that they had until 2016 and beyond. It is important to note at this point that the chief goal that the Chancellor has set for all CUNY colleges is student success. And this is going to be measured by increased graduation and retention figures. So Lehman is right where it needs to be. And people are taking notice. That's why the U.S. News & World Report ranked Lehman College as a Tier 1 institution among regional universities in the North for 3 consecutive years. It's also why this year the college was ranked number 3 in the Northeastern U.S. on the Washington Monthly Magazine's Best Bang for the Buck poll. And last year, Lehman was selected as the number 12 most attractive and most affordable campus in the United States. So the secret is out. Lehman College is a school that is nationally recognized for its academic programs, its affordability, and as a desired destination. Meanwhile, our faculty continues to win honors and recognition. Just last week, a front-page article in the New York Times reported that Professor William Harcourt Smith of our anthropology department was the lead researcher of the team that examined the foot bones of a new human species, Homo naledi, whatever that means. Professor Harcourt Smith and his team postulated that this new species walked upright and for long distances. Professor Moira Swaney, Biological Sciences, received recently a $1 million grant from the National Cancer Institute for her groundbreaking research into developing therapies that kill cancerous tumors while leaving healthy cells intact. And the Bronx Institute, under the leadership of Professor Emilio Martinez from Middle and High School Education, was recently awarded a multi-year $12.6 million federal grant for the Gear Up program. This is a program that is designed to help students improve their high school graduation and college success rates. We've had programs in Gear Up for many, many years, and this is really an extension and a recognition of the quality of the work that this institute, the Bronx Institute, has done. Last semester, members of the staff of the college's Multimedia Center won an Emmy for their video series, The Best of the Bronx, which is a testament to their hard work and talent. For the past 5 years, our Division of Administration Finance has received the CUNY Productivity Award for their work in increasing revenues and also introducing initiatives that have led to increases in productivity. We learned recently that we will once again receive this award at the annual CUNY Financial Conference to be held early in November. This initiative that earned us this year's award was a joint project with ITR, Information Technology Resources, that automated the process by which tax levy budget modifications are submitted, reviewed, and approved. Regarding our students, some of our students have won scholarships to study in Japan. They became Division III track champions, or like Darian Worrell, an opera singer and a graduate of the college's music department, have been accepted into prestigious programs. In Darian's case, it is to the master's program of the Internationale Sommerakademie Mozarteum in Salzburg, Austria. And Lehman College has been leading the way on important initiatives that can have an impact on the lives and careers of students. I refer here specifically to our reverse credit transfer program, an initiative which came to us as an idea that was promoted by our provost, borrowed from her previous college that she was associated with, the University of Texas, El Paso. This is an agreement that we have between Lehman, Bronx Community College, and Ostos Community College that was established in July 2014. This initiative allows students from BCC or Ostos to take classes here at Lehman and then to transfer the credits back to their community colleges and apply them in order to complete an associate's degree there, that they would be granted while still being students here at Lehman. This affords them the opportunity to have a degree, have a piece of paper, in case that for some reason they're unable to continue and step out. The program is so successful that the chancellor has proposed expanding it across CUNY, and we'll see some more of that this year. So that's the story of the first half of 2015. So as we look forward, what can we expect? The short answer for the immediate future is probably more of the same. Although that forecast could change if an agreement is reached on the contract with the PSC and the governor takes positive action on legislation that could make the compact, which expires in June, an essential feature of the relationship between the state and both of its public university systems, SUNY and CUNY. We'll know more of that in the months to come. But the bigger picture, the larger reality that we must deal with, is that education, higher education in the United States, faces new economic realities. Higher education budgets are under stress due to the fiscal reductions that have been taking place in many states. For example, the University of Wisconsin system recently experienced a $250 million reduction in its 2015-2017 biennial budget. In Louisiana, Arizona, and other states, these reductions also involve major cuts to universities and community colleges. Increasingly, in recent years, new concepts have been introduced. Competency-based education programs have been proposed by governors in several states. In essence, the idea behind this initiative is to award certificates or diplomas based on the knowledge and demonstrable skills of students rather than on the basis of credit hours or seat time. So the game is changing. It's no longer what degree you have or what institution you received it from. It's really what you know and what you can do with the knowledge and skills acquired in the course of obtaining a degree, or while you were employed, or in military service, or through any other experiences in your life. In the current budget, Governor Cuomo set aside $12 million in performance-based funding for CUNY to develop, in consultation with faculty, experiential learning projects and initiatives that would, once adopted by the Board of Trustees, will become an integral part of their course of study and graduation requirements. We don't know very much about this initiative. It's just been announced. We expect to get instructions very soon on how to apply for these funds. They will be awarded on a competitive basis, and we are already beginning to think about what we will propose. So a key question that we need to consider is this: what are we doing to prepare for the future in light of the new economic realities that we will continue to face? Fortunately, here at the college, we went ahead willingly with our prioritization process in an attempt to put our house in order, our own house in order. First and foremost, this meant taking a look at all of our programs. And programs here was defined as anything that requires resources, whether human resources, space, or any other money to run. Many people were involved in the review process of 200 academic and 97 administrative programs. More than 150 faculty and staff were involved in preparing and submitting reports. Another 60 helped with the review process. This past summer, the vice presidents also reviewed the programs in their areas. And this fall, the vice presidents, as well as the deans and administrators, will engage department chairs and program directors to identify and discuss opportunities for improvement over the next 3 years. Annual reports are going to be issued every year, beginning in 2016. I want to emphasize, flexibility and collegiality will be emphasized in this dialogue as we strive as a community to develop solutions and strategies to implement these recommendations. And remember, as I previously noted in my May 21st, 2014 memo to the Lehman community about the prioritization process, and I quote, "Prioritization of programs is not a budget or reduction in force analysis, but a proactive effort to shape our programs and services for the rapidly evolving needs of the Lehman College community during the coming years and decades." The reality we now live in is this: the world of higher education has changed, and Lehman College is changing right along with it. Something else that we need to keep in mind is that we need to begin looking at Lehman College's re-accreditation as an institution of higher education by the Middle States Commission in 2019. Now, this might seem like it's a long way out, but we need to prepare by planning for the self-study, which began already in the spring and summer under the leadership of Dean Deirdre Pettypiece. She will oversee the preparation of the Lehman College self-study over the next 2 years with participation from all sectors of the campus. And the Middle States visiting team is scheduled to come to our campus in spring 2019. And then action by Middle States on our reaccreditation would happen summer or fall of that same year. In the more immediate future, I would like to share with you an update of some of the college, some areas of the college that we have been focusing on for the last several years. In the area of online education, among CUNY senior colleges, Lehman continues to lead in online course offerings that benefit our students by expanding access to courses. And this fall, we have admitted the first cohort, 28 students. We were aiming for 20, but we ended up with 28, to our online RN to BSN program, making it Lehman's first fully online degree program. And an additional cohort is following this spring. So congratulations to Professor Georges and the nursing department and all the other persons connected with this for making this happen. The college also continues to make strides in the area of international programs. I'm proud to note that the college has been selected by the Institute of International Education to participate in the first international academic partnership program, which will involve travel to the island of Cuba next month. The first cohort is made up of 11 universities from across the United States, plus a consortium of liberal arts colleges in the Midwest. Lehman is the only one from this area. Dr. Morobel Sosa, our provost, and Dr. Teresita Levy, professor in the Department of Latin American, Latino, and Puerto Rican Studies, will be our delegates for this exploratory visit sometime next month. The college also continues to make progress in the technological area. For example, we have a new application, free, that provides access to all things Lehman. In the last 2 weeks, there have been over 500 downloads of this free app by students, and I encourage the students, and indeed anyone, to download it and have it available. You can check schedules, you can check, there's all kinds of information on that. The college has continued to improve wireless access points for the entire Lehman community. This summer, 42 new access points were installed in Carmen and another 34 in Gillette Hall. In the 2014 CUNY Student Experience Survey, Lehman ranked the highest of all CUNY senior colleges in regard to student views towards wireless access on campus. Lehman is also among the first CUNY schools to experiment with the free, open educational resources for use in the classroom. Professor Juan de la Cruz of Economics and Business is currently teaching 3 sections of an introduction to macroeconomics, and he's using iPad minis and an e-textbook. The iPads were donated by a foundation, and the students in those courses are enjoying the fact that they don't have to purchase textbooks because they have them available in there. The college has developed a time management calculator. This is aimed at helping students understand how to better allocate their time between work, school, sleep, and leisure activities. It provides hints on adjustments that need to be made in order to achieve a better school life balance, and it should be ready for dissemination early next month. In the past, if a student or faculty member needed to reserve a camera or a laptop, they would make a phone call or send an email to Media Technology Services in the Multimedia Center. This fall, we launched a new online reservation system so that students and faculty can view the equipment they are, quote, renting and reserve it online for one class or for the whole semester. The college also recently had a ribbon-cutting ceremony at our new innovation lab at CUNY on the concourse. The lab, funded by the New York City Department of Economic Development, offers intense programming and web development training for budding computer scientists. This is the latest initiative of the college to groom the next wave of professionals in the field of information technology. Indeed, the creation of an IT hub in the Bronx has already started. With funding support from the New York City Council and Councilman James Vaca, a modest operation was launched last year as part of the CUNY on the Concourse Innovation Lab. And earlier this month, in partnership with the two community colleges in the Bronx, Lehman submitted a proposal to establish a Bronx iTech Hub as part of the CUNY 2020 Challenge Grant competition among CUNY colleges. I'm very hopeful of that grant. We have very strong support from all of our elected officials, and this will be a real game changer. The goal of the hub is to position the borough. This is not just about Lehman. This is about the Bronx, to become a more significant part of the digital economy by bringing new tech jobs and businesses to the borough. And we will do this by partnering with a private company, Eon Reality, that specializes in virtual reality technology. We're going to establish a virtual reality coding academy for CUNY students at all levels that will include a 3-month intensive course of study in animation, 3D graphics, and web design. Upon completion of the course, students will then be able to gain real-world work, VR experience, as part of a 9-month internship. Virtual reality, we also have a development of an entrepreneur lab. Virtual reality is growing. This is the technology that is growing by leaps and bounds. In fact, Saturday, I attended one of the games at the US Open. And on the way out, I saw a building, and I was invited to come into this building, and there were 3 large rooms inside. It's a building probably a little bigger than this one. And there were rooms set aside in which people were wearing these goggles, and they were playing tennis against Maria Sharapova or Roger Federer or whatever. And there were children doing this, there were adults, there were teenagers. They could put on goggles and play a match, a virtual match, against major players. I asked outside when did this happen? He says, no, this is just happening, and it's free for now. But virtual reality is not something of the future. It's already here. We just haven't felt the full impact of that. And some of you may have read this morning in the New York Times that the Mayor de Blasio, is announcing today that in 10 years, all schools in New York City will teach computer science. The main challenge, however, is that there are very few trained teachers and certified teachers. There is no certificate for training computer science teachers in the K-12 system. So fortunately, we have a very savvy dean of education who anticipated this need and is already making plans for a curriculum in this area and talking to the state and talking to a number of people. So I want to give a shout out to Dean Vicki Fain. In another move that looks to the future and with the support of the Lehman College Foundation, the college has recently retained the services of Ology, a national branding and marketing firm based in Columbus, Ohio, with extensive experience in higher education. This firm, which has worked with such schools as the University of Arizona, Vanderbilt University, Purdue University, and many others, will help Lehman College position itself for its 50th anniversary celebration. Ology will assist us in developing and marketing the college's brand beginning this fall and continuing into next year. July 1, 2018 will mark 50 years since this college was established and named in honor of the great statesman and public servant, Herbert H. Lehman. The celebration and related events will run from September 2017 through December 2018, about an 18-month period we have done. So you can see that we have been very busy, and we have a number of very busy years ahead for all of us. So in summary, at the start of this new academic year, Lehman College finds itself in a good place. In the past 2.5 decades since I came, Lehman College has faced significant challenges and has emerged a stronger institution every time. We are better prepared to deal with whatever comes our way than we have ever been. And so, albeit with more than a little sadness, but also with a feeling of certainty in my heart that the time is right, I am announcing today that this academic year will be my last as president of Lehman College. Recently, I informed Chancellor Milliken of my intention. In a few weeks, the CUNY Board of Trustees will announce a search for my replacement who will assume the position next summer. There is never a perfect time to change the leadership of an institution of higher education. But given the current condition of the college, I'm convinced that this is an appropriate time to start the process. Over the course of my long tenure as president, I have been privileged to serve this great college together with dedicated faculty, college, staff, and alumni. The past 25 years have been immensely rewarding and satisfying for me. To give you a little history, when I arrived here in 1990, I was a rookie president with limited administrative experience. I did not come to the position after rising through the traditional ranks of university administration. And in addition, all my work experience had been in the Midwest. And I knew relatively little about CUNY, New York City, or the Bronx. I was painfully aware that I had a very steep learning curve ahead of me. But I made a commitment to learn everything I needed to know to carry out my duties to the very best of my ability and to justify the trust that had been placed in me. The more I learned the more respect and affection grew in me for this college, for its mission, and for the people who helped to carry it out. From the pride that buildings and grounds staff take in the appearance and functioning of our campus, to the extra efforts made cheerfully by our professional staff to help smooth the bureaucratic hurdles often faced by students. You make me very pleased and very proud. It has been truly a gift to be associated over the years with so many dedicated members of the faculty who fill the lives of our students with such excitement and promise. My greatest source of satisfaction, though, is to see the large numbers of students that we have helped to develop careers and become the economic, educational, and artistic backbone of our community. To me, it is quite clear that the continuing success of Lehman College has been and will continue to be the result of a team effort. So let me just say, Team Lehman is in very good shape. Therefore, I believe in good conscience and feel very comfortable in saying that the end of the current academic year is a good time for me to move to the next stage of my personal and professional life. There will be time later to say our farewells. In the meantime, I want to make it very clear, Lehman's work continues. We have a full academic year ahead of us to bring to fruition key initiatives that we have been working on for the past 2-3 years. So my admonition to you is let's roll up our collective sleeves and get to work. Thank you.
This September 1st, President Fernandez celebrated his 25th year as president of Lehman College. And several of us joined to celebrate that occasion. And we were going to commemorate it with a surprise, except we got the surprise. We have received a proclamation from Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz, Jr., a proud Lehman alumnus, in honor of the President's 25th years of service and unwavering dedication to Lehman College and to the Bronx. It reads as follows. Ruben Diaz, Jr., President of the Borough of the Bronx, presents his citation of merit to Ricardo R. Fernandez. In recognition of your valuable contributions to the continued growth of the Bronx, during your tenure as president of Lehman College of the City University of New York, you became the second president of Lehman College and are the longest serving among CUNY's 24 current presidents. Over the course of your long career as the president of Lehman College, you have exhibited the grace and intelligence needed of a leader. Under your leadership, Lehman College has thrived, adding new programs, new academic degrees, constructing new buildings like the Apex Athletic Facility and the $70 million state-of-the-art Science Hall, as well as creating new collaborations with the public school system of the Bronx in an effort to lift up the community that Lehman College calls home. Thanks to your support Our borough is now home to one of the top public high schools in the nation, the High School for American Studies at Lehman College. Never one to rest on your laurels. You always are looking to achieve their goals and dreams, and long embrace technology and online education as important tools. You have always put the Bronx and its people at the center of Lehman College's mission. Lehman College has been a center of transformation for tens of thousands of students, many of them from the Bronx. During your time as president, Lehman College has graduated more than 40,000 students, creating a network of alumni that makes all of us in the Bronx, the city of New York, and beyond proud. Therefore, on behalf of the 1.4 million residents of the Bronx, I, Ruben Diaz Jr., a proud graduate of Lehman College, salute and wish you continued success. September 12, 2015. I forgot that part. This concludes our convocation, and please join us for refreshments at the conclusion. Thank you.